People assume divorce ends with signatures, boxes, new addresses. But for children, it begins with something else, a shadow, not a creature, not a ghost, but a presence that forms the moment two adults stop loving each other. It follows the child, not to harm them, but to remind them that something once whole is now split inside them forever. Children of divorce learn early that silence has teeth. They hear it in the nights when both homes feel unfamiliar. They hear it in the pauses between their parents' careful questions. They hear it whenever anyone says, "You're so mature for your age," without understanding what that maturity cost. It wasn't wisdom, it was survival. There's something eerie about a child who never cries during the storm, only afterward, when no one is watching. Most people think the child moves between two houses, but secretly, the child moves between two worlds, two different gravitational pulls, two truths that cannot exist together. And in the gap between those worlds, a strange thing grows, a whisper that says, "Be careful, don't upset anyone, don't show too much of yourself, don't give them a reason to let go." Children don't hear this whisper with their ears, they hear it with their bones. It becomes a kind of haunting, not from the parents, but from the fear of losing what's left. As the child grows, the haunting matures too. Streetlights flicker across the car window on the drive between houses, and for a split second their reflection doesn't look like a child at all. It looks older, worn, shaped by choices they were too young to make. They blink, and the reflection adjusts, as if deciding which version of them should appear in the next home. These are the lasting scars, not bruises, not memories, but versions of self that fracture and recombine until the child no longer knows which one is real. The eerie truth, the one no one speaks aloud, is that children of divorce become ghost-like in their own lives. Not dead, not hollow, but divided, subtle static around the edges. Always half here, half there, always afraid that being fully themselves might tip the balance in one home or the other. They grow up listening for changes in tone, watching for cracks in smiles, sensing emotions before they appear, because they learned early that love can vanish quietly if you don't pay attention. Hyper-awareness becomes their armor and their curse. People say children are resilient, but resilience has a cost. The child becomes an adult who apologizes too quickly, fears abandonment too deeply, and loves as though love is something to keep stitched together with trembling hands. They don't talk about this. They never learned how. Their first language was silence, their second was caution, and their third was pretending. The scars remain, not on the skin, but behind the ribs where identity tries to rebuild itself from fragments carried between houses. Children of divorce grow up, walking the corridor between worlds, a place where shadows cling, silence watches, and the self they might have been waits patiently in the dark, hoping one day to be chosen over the ghosts they learn to carry.